Hi there and welcome to another video. I'm Raluca. Today I'm doing a look based on color theory, but first I'm gonna have to introduce you a little bit to it. I did a full in-depth video about I think 2 years ago. I'm going to link it somewhere on the screen in case you want to see like the basics of color theory, even though I'm going to explain a bit as well in this video. Basically, how I apply color theory in makeup is to figure out how I can blend shades into one another if certain colors are blendable into one another. And also in this look I'm going to use the concept of complementary colors, which basically are opposite colors. But in order for you to understand that concept, I'm going to show the color circle somewhere on the screen, or like the color wheel, whatever. It's this wheel circle thing here, which kind of shows how one color transitions into another. How you can apply this concept into makeup is you can establish how if certain shades are blendable into one another based on how close they are to each other in the color wheel. So for example, there is yellow next to orange. Yellow and orange blend really well into one another. You can create a seamless blend. They won't neutralize each other. Same, let's say, with orange and red. They are pretty close tones and they can blend into one another easily. At the same time, on the color wheel, we do have complementary colors, which are opposites from each other. These will neutralize each other. So for example, you won't be able to blend a green into a red. Let me give you an example. I have here the NikkieTutorials and the BeautyBay palette. I'm just gonna attempt to blend a red into a green. Just going back and forth. And this is the shade that they created. I think I applied a little bit too much of the red maybe. Let me just add a little bit more green. They create this kind of a muddy shade. They don't blend into each other that nicely. This is not a true green either, so maybe it's not the best example, but you get the point. At the same time, complementary colors, if you're not attempting to blend them into one another, they can create a very beautiful contrast. They kind of highlight each other. So when you place a green next to a red, they're going to be accentuated. The colors that I'm using today, as you probably can see on one of my eyes, are yellow and purple, which again are complementary colors. In this look I didn't attempt to blend them into one another. They are totally separate. I have a yellow on my lid and a wing liner that is purple. Again, they accentuate each other and create a nice contrast. So that is the theory that I applied behind this look. I only have 2 shades, so it's a really simple look, but I use the color theory to help me pick my shades. So again, the look is very basic. It's basic but not exactly simple because of the graphic liner. Eyeliners can be quite tricky. I have this yellow here in the palette. I'm just going to tone it down a little bit with the orange because this is a very bright neon yellow and I just want a plain regular yellow. So I'm using a Morphe M506 brush. I'm gonna start from the inner corner of my eye and drag this shade all across my lid. And I'm also gonna blend it into my crease. For the eyeliner, I'm going to go for a technique that I really love, and that is dipping my brush into micellar water and then into eyeshadow and creating a liner with eyeshadow basically. I have my micellar water here and an angled brush that is going to come in handy when doing the liner. You can use whatever kind of brush that you prefer for eyeliner. I'm going to wet the tip of my brush with the micellar water. Because my palette doesn't necessarily have purple, I mean it does have this shade, but it's not purple enough for what I want. It's not bright enough, I think. You can get all the complementary colors by mixing primary colors. Primary colors are blue, yellow, and red. Questionable. A lot of people say that it's cyan and what was the other one? Magenta, I think. We're just going to go with the classics today. So blue and red are primary colors, and in between them, in the color circle, we have purple, which means that if we mix blue and red, we will get a purple. Same, let's say, with yellow and red. If you mix them together, you're gonna get an orange shade. And again, yellow with blue will create a green. So again, I'm going to use this theory and create my own purple by mixing blue and red from the palette. I'm just gonna go back and forth between these two until I like the shade that comes up. Let's see what I ended up with, because I can't really tell from the brush. And see how well it glides on the skin when the brush is damp with micellar water? I love this trick because you can personalize your eyeliner and create any shade of eyeliner that you want. I mean, as long as you have eyeshadows in that color. Or you don't even need to have eyeshadows in those colors, because obviously you can mix them like I just did. And I remember I used to do this a lot when I didn't have a lot of eyeshadow palettes, when I was just starting out with makeup. I'm a huge teal lover, but I did not have teal, so I would just mix blue and green together and get my own personalized teal shade. And I'm going to turn this into a graphic wing, so I'm just gonna do a straight line that points towards my crease. I applied a little too much red. See how it turned a little bit more warm toned. You can of course create the balance that you want between the blue and the red. Well, whatever, my first eye is nicer, but it's okay. I also want to do a bit of an inner corner wing, just using the tip of my angled brush. And this tickles every time I attempt to do an inner corner wing. It tickles so bad. I will just finish off with mascara and call it a day. I'm using the Maybelline Sky High mascara. And that is everything that I wanted to share for today's video. I do hope that you learned something. I hope you found this information useful. These are things that I use all the time unconsciously. I think about the color wheel every time I do a colorful look, and that is basically how I pick my shades. If I'm doing a very blended look, I will avoid using complementary colors, but today I wanted to show you a way in which you can incorporate them both in a look. Basically, if you're not trying to blend them into one another, it's going to be fine and you're going to create a nice contrast look, like I did today. And also the micellar water hack, I find that to be really useful, and I've been using it a lot since I discovered it. Anyway, I'm gonna head out. I wish you an extraordinary day, and I hope I'll see you next time. Bye!